Hello, welcome to the I.T.L. Yes, we are in the lounge today. The weather, it's actually pretty sunny out. It's nice and sunny outside. Chilly. I just figured just shoot it in the lounge. I got something here I want to kind of talk about anyway and show you guys. I've been talking off and on about I got this project I'm trying to line up and get going, and I'm going to introduce it to you right here. I mean, some of you might say, "Oh, this is a good idea." Some of you like, "Eh," but that's okay. That's okay. I've been working on. Well, actually, this last summer, Suburban Rider actually came across a bunch of radio equipment that he had gotten somewhere, and I got off. What is it? A Statics D104 microphone. These are actually, if you don't know the history, I don't know the years that they started on, but they were very, very popular for like ham radio and CBs. And I didn't care if it worked or not. I really didn't, and he didn't know if they worked or not because this is the deal that he got. And I'm like, I don't care. It's just the idea. It's a cool, nostalgic thing. Nothing else. It's a paperweight, you know. But whenever I got it back, got off and got it back, I discovered that the head unit on it for the microphone was bad. The microphone itself. I mean, here's the bits and pieces. It's just shot. It wasn't even soldered on. And also it has some troubles. This is a powered mic. It also has some troubles in the electronics for the power. Can it be fixed? Yeah. The head unit, you buy the whole head unit. The only thing I can really find are the silver, and I would really like to keep it as a black unit. As far as the electronics, this has all the electrical. The power unit is still in it, and what I end up doing is actually I hooked up a lapel mic. This is, I don't know if you can see the wiring, but it'll actually hook up. It's got the plug for the microphone. It's wired as a lapel mic in it into the head, and I'll use it for my desktop or whatever. Or maybe even eventually, after I get the I.T.L set up properly, I'll have it as a desk microphone so you guys can hear me through it. And I mean, it's kind of cool. Now, what I end up doing is, instead of butchering up the interior of it, as far as all the mechanical, electrical parts of it, all I ended up doing was this head unit with this little silver nut here. Actually, you unscrew the silver nut, the head unit comes off, and it's just a plug in it. What I ended up doing was unsoldering. There's two wires that go up to it. You unsolder the plug from inside, and I soldered two wires up to the plug. Then the two existing wires from the head unit plug up to where the initial microphone would have been. Right there, you can see where they would have soldered on. I just soldered that onto the lapel microphone part, and that's actually inside here, and it's actually facing forward towards where you pick up the voice. And actually, you can't see it in there because I still have it. This originally had a black, like a liner felt in there. I left that in there. That way you can't see it. And also, what I end up doing is it had a kind of a cottony fiber in it on the back. I put that on there so there's no way of any short or any interference in that way. But I went around the brake handle. There's the switch because there's no sense, not really a need for it, and there's no sense in butchering up the wiring for it because someday I'd like to get this back up and running for a CB. I do CBs. But I figured, this is kind of cool. I can probably get the head placard for it, like they have, like you used to see at old timer radio shows and stuff like that. someday maybe. I am missing a screw. I lost a screw somewhere. I'll find it. But I mean, I figured, you know what? That's kind of cool. But if anybody is interested in, I mean, they have something like this laying around. They go, well, how did you really do it? I can actually make a video later on showing step by step of how I did it. It's not a big deal. It's really, really super easy. All you need is a soldering iron for it, and that's really it. I mean, you can see I left the spring, the original cable spring on it, basically just to protect the wire from getting cut around the hole on the base. That's just to help protect it. It's not really doing anything other than that. But I figured, what the heck? I did end up taking the C9 out yesterday to the target range, and actually, it was the first time I actually got to shoot it. I've had it since February. Pitiful, I know. I just didn't have the time yet. But since February, I took it out for the first time. I mean, I've always hand cycled it through, and I've never had a problem with it cycling or anything. But other than that, the only thing I've ever done to this thing was clean it and keep it lubed. Because I carried it. As far as carrying it, the idea was, if anything happened close up, point and shoot, it'll do the trick. But I'll tell you, I was so pleasantly surprised with that stinking thing. It was unreal. I took a target. All it wasn't even really a target. It was just a piece of cardboard stock. And I stepped off around 10, 11 yards. I figured that's good enough. 30, 33 feet. That's good enough for now. And I quick drew it out of my holster. Took 5 quick snaps. That's more than you normally get on a quick pull, on a first pull in an emergency situation. On the average, I mean, you only get 2, maybe 3 rounds off. I mean, and I figured quick pulls. I'm talking about snap, 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 really quick. You know what I mean? Fast as you can go. Not one jam. I kept it within the size of a silver dollar. Silver dollar's about that big around the size of a silver dollar. And I kept them all 5 rounds in there, and I came out with 3 holes. And you might say, well, you missed 2 rounds. No, I didn't. Two of the holes were double shot holes. They were actually a little bit larger than the 1 hole. And then on the backer board, you've seen it that definitely 2 rounds went through the same holes, the 2 holes. And I like that. I like that. I mean, this is something it's got adjustable sights on it. I never touched the sights. All I did is keep her lubed, keep it clean, stick it in. Now I did end up, what I was using was, I used the cheap Walmart Tula steel cased ammo. And I know people say, oh, you don't use it, don't use it. I already called up High Point, got a hold of one of the representatives, and I said, would it hurt to use this? And he said, well, we recommend long-term usage. Not really. That's what was recommended. They said, but to be honest with you though, if it fails, we'll fix it or replace it. If it fails, it's not considered abuse to use it. And if it wears out, that gun, there's something wrong, because the steel casings should be softer than softer than any metal in that gun. So that's cool. So what I ended up doing is I used a Tula steel cased ammo along with Remington brass hollow points. Not one problem, not one jam, not one stick. I stovepipe nothing. I actually found myself enjoy shooting that thing better than my little 22 I had, that little PT-22. And actually, that little PT-22, believe it or not, has a teeny bit of recoil to it. Not a whole lot. It's a 22 recoil, but it's got a little bit teeny bit of recoil. You just barely notice the muzzle flip. The High Point has no muzzle flip. It is just a flat shooting, fully controllable. I even limp-wristed that thing trying to get it to jam. Not a problem. Like, what are these people having problems with these things? I mean, I know they probably it's a cheap manufactured gun. They probably got flaws in theirs. I don't know, but it's like mine's running beautiful. I can't say anything negative about this sticking thing except for it is heavy. And is it a nice looking gun? I mean, to be honest with you, that's in the eye of the beholder. I kind of like the looks of mine. The grips, they could be a little bit better textured. They're doable. They fit my hand. The grips fit my hand all right. It works. Could they have more round capacity? Yeah. But I mean, it's plenty. It's plenty for self protection. Would I would take it into a battle situation? Well, a full battle situation? No. It just doesn't have the capacity for what you need. And it is 9mm. I mean, you can get a better caliber for a battle situation. For self-protection, it's fine. 9mm, I love it for a 9. Oh. But yeah, I mean, then I came across, we all know that we've been having, since the United States elections this last week, we've been having rioters, and it's actually, they started as peaceful protesting. These people, it always starts out peaceful protesting, and end up turning to riots. And I'm like, you know what, back whenever Obama was elected in, we didn't hit the streets. We didn't riot because it wasn't the president we chose. Like, come on, people, grow up. I mean, they would have. They're so. They're two-faced. But yeah, I came across. This is from Infowars. I don't normally follow them very often, but I came across one of their videos, and I figured I'll tag it to the back end of the I.T.L. just for the heck of it. It is an awesome video. It made me chuckle. So I figured, well, I'll go ahead and leave you with that. I wish you all a great week. This is MuzzleMike, signing out.
3 days after the election of Donald Trump, and the reality of a Trump presidency is starting to hit home. For some people, this is such a devastating notion that they need to call an ambulance or even want to die. Well, we Trump voters care about our fellow Americans, and we're pained by this. So let's help the Trump protesters. Let's try to help them recover from their devastation. If you see a Trump protester or a group of them, give them a diaper, hand them a binky, cover them in a blankie. After all, this is what you do for crying babies. Many of these people look like they need a hug, so give them a box of Huggies. We Trump voters can't stand to see our fellow Americans so depleted, so we will make sure to get as many of them a warm bottle of milk as possible. To make America great again, we must make sure that these babies are taken care of with plenty of diapers, binkies, and rattles. Don't worry, Trump protesters. Remember, we're stronger together, even if you do have to wear a diaper. This is Owen Schroyer from Infowars.com. This message is paid for by the Russians.